Welcome to Conversations with My Real Friends. In this episode, Tristan, Ahumada, and I talk about the commission cooperation war and what's going on in the real estate industry. Anyone who's in real estate needs to know and understand and be prepared for the shift that this is going to bring to the industry. I hope you get something out of this episode. We're going to talk now about, what's going on with the commissions.
Yes,
right?
My favorite subject.
It's the topic du jour right now, right? So for the audience, just a little bit of setup. I think most of the people on this call, on the Zoom, are in real estate, but just so that you understand kind of the setup is, the primary model relative to real estate commissions is that a real estate agent will go to a seller and negotiate an agreement to pay a commission for the sale of the house, right? So we get this, it's called a listing agreement. The selling agent, the agent who gets the listing, right? So called the listing agent, we'll use that terminology. The listing agent gets the contract and the seller agrees to pay a certain percentage.
Yeah.
When I started in this industry 30 years ago, it was 6%.
Nice.
Today, it's more like 5%.
Yeah.
Right? And I don't think it'll be 5% tomorrow when we start talking about this, right? And so that commission is split between that listing agent and the procuring agent, right? The agent for the buyer.
Correct.
The listing agreement determines the amount that's going to be shared. It's put into the multiple listing service, and then that other agent gets a buyer. It could be the same agent, but an agent brings the buyer, they get a piece of the commission, and then the listing agent gets a piece of the commission.
Yeah.
This model, which has been the model our lifetimes, right, was challenged in a court case. The arguments were that the consumers are being overcharged as a result of the way commissions are done. That buyers wouldn't pay the same amount if they had to pay the commissions, that sellers weren't getting clear and fair disclosure, a whole bunch of different antitrust, fair trade arguments.
There's some great arguments by the attorneys.
Right. And I think that there are some arguments, and understand, these attorneys weren't that brilliant. The DOJ set it up, right?
I listened to it. I'm like, there's no way that these are the attorneys.
The Department of Justice, right, which is the federal government, sued the National Association of Realtors and made all these claims.
Yeah.
Right? So they didn't have to come up with them.
No.
The government gave them to them on a silver platter.
It was easy.
Right? And in Missouri, this case was in federal court in Missouri, a jury found for the plaintiffs and awarded them $1.7 billion in damages. The defendants were the National Association of Realtors and some of the big boys in real estate. So what is your kind of take on the case, just the baselines?
Baseline, I think a lot of the things that were brought up, it made sense that the jury voted for the people. For the homeowners. What was it, 500,000 homeowners or something in there?
Like that.
And because if you look at what they served them, which was all of the manuals, all the sales manuals, everything, it was just pretty much saying, hey, you've got to push for a higher percentage, 6%. Right. And then when you tie that onto the MLS, and then the MLS not being flexible on allowing a percentage of zero.
Correct.
Right? On top of that, it sounds like we're all working together to charge a certain amount.
Correct.
And the attorneys just couldn't battle it out. I don't think it's definitely not over, but what happens on a situation like that is now, even if we go to appeals, at that point, it's already too late. Things are changing now.
It's too late.
That's the problem.
Right. I don't know if the case was right or wrong, doesn't really matter from that perspective. And even if it does get overturned on appeal, the
damage is done.
It's over.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Not only is that case still got a lot of legs to go through, there have been over a dozen copycat lawsuits filed.
And more are going to come out.
EXP's in the California one, right?
Yeah.
So, and yes, it's only a matter of time.
Yeah,
So
agreed.